Have you ever wondered how a street hustler can transform into an influential figure? Today, we delve into the life of Malcolm X. Malcolm Little, who would later adopt the name Malcolm X, was born on May 19, 1925 in Omaha, Nebraska. His early life was far from easy. His father, Earl Little, was a Baptist preacher and an active member of the Universal Negro Improvement Association. Earl's civil rights activism provoked threats from the Ku Klux Klan, forcing the family to relocate twice before Malcolm's fourth birthday. Tragedy struck when Malcolm was just 6 years old. His father was found dead on the city's tram tracks. Although officially ruled as an accident, many believe Earl Little was murdered by white supremacists. In the wake of his father's death, Malcolm's mother, Louise, struggled to cope emotionally and financially. As if life hadn't already dealt Malcolm a harsh hand, his mother's deteriorating mental health led to her institutionalization in a state mental hospital. The young Malcolm and his siblings were split up and sent to foster homes. This marked the beginning of a tumultuous chapter in Malcolm's life. As a teenager, Malcolm moved to Boston, where he got his first taste of the criminal world. He became involved in various illegal activities, including gambling, drug dealing, and robbery. His street name, Detroit Red, was as well known in the underworld as his fiery red hair. But it was this life of crime that would lead him to prison, where he would encounter the teachings that would change his life forever. It was here, behind bars, that Malcolm began his journey from street hustler to influential civil rights leader. He started reading extensively, soaking up knowledge like a sponge, and it was during this time that he first came into contact with the teachings of the Nation of Islam. Malcolm X's early life was filled with hardships, but these experiences would later shape him into the man he became. So, how did a street hustler become a leading voice of the African American community? The answer lies in a group known as the Nation of Islam. Malcolm Little, better known as Malcolm X, was serving time in prison when he first encountered the teachings of the Nation of Islam. It was during these bleak and isolating years that he found solace and direction in the group's messages of black empowerment and self-reliance. The teachings resonated deeply with him, sparking a transformation that would forever change the course of his life. Upon his release from prison, Malcolm X quickly became an influential figure within the Nation of Islam. His charisma, eloquence, and unwavering dedication to the group's cause propelled him up the ranks. He took on the role of a minister, passionately spreading the teachings of the Nation of Islam and advocating for the rights of African Americans. As a minister, Malcolm X was relentless in his pursuit of equality. His fiery speeches, filled with powerful rhetoric and hard-hitting truths, inspired many African Americans to stand up against the racial injustices and systemic oppression they faced. However, as Malcolm X's influence grew, so did the tension within the Nation of Islam. Differences in ideologies and a growing disillusionment with the group's leadership led to his eventual break from the organization. This split marked a significant turning point in his life, triggering a journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth. Yet, despite the tumultuous relationship with the Nation of Islam, there's no denying the significant role it played in shaping Malcolm X's identity and beliefs. It was here that a former convict found his voice, his purpose, and his path to becoming a prominent figure in the fight for civil rights. As the voice of the Nation of Islam, Malcolm X was a symbol of black pride and self-sufficiency, but his journey was far from over. Malcolm X, a controversial figure, was a beacon of hope for some and a source of fear for others. But what was his actual impact on America? Let's delve deeper into this intriguing question. Malcolm X's influence on America was profound and far-reaching, fundamentally shifting the nation's perspective on civil rights. His fiery orations and unapologetic stance on black empowerment galvanized a segment of the population that felt overlooked and ignored. Unlike other civil rights leaders of his time, Malcolm X did not advocate for peaceful integration, but rather for a robust and assertive fight for equal rights. His message of black empowerment resonated deeply with those who felt the pacifist approach was too slow and too accommodating. Malcolm X encouraged African Americans to take control of their own destiny, to build their own businesses, schools, and institutions. He believed that self-reliance was the key to true freedom and equality. Furthermore, Malcolm X did not shy away from criticizing the pacifist approach of other civil rights leaders. He argued that it was not enough to simply dream of a better future, but that it was necessary to actively fight for it. His advocacy for self-defense was a direct challenge to the nonviolent philosophy of his contemporaries. He famously said, "Be peaceful, be courteous, obey the law, respect everyone. But if someone puts his hand on you, send him to the cemetery. However, it's important to note that Malcolm X's radical approach was not without controversy. His views often put him at odds with the mainstream civil rights movement and the white establishment. His words were deemed inflammatory, his methods too aggressive. Yet, it was this very radicalism that forced a national conversation about race and civil rights, pushing the boundaries of what was considered acceptable in the fight for equality. Malcolm X's radical approach challenged not only the white establishment, but also the mainstream civil rights movement, forever changing the discourse around race in America. His legacy lives on, a potent reminder of the power of unyielding conviction and the relentless pursuit of justice. After breaking away from the Nation of Islam, Malcolm X embarked on a spiritual journey that led him to true Islam. But what exactly does that mean? In the spring of 1964, Malcolm X, also known as El-Hajj Malik el-Shabazz, undertook a life-altering pilgrimage to Mecca, Saudi Arabia. This Hajj, one of the 5 pillars of Islam, was a transformative experience for Malcolm. It was during this journey that he embraced Sunni Islam, a branch of the faith that emphasizes unity and equality among all Muslims, regardless of race or nationality. In Mecca, Malcolm X was deeply moved by the diversity and unity of the Muslim community. He shared meals, prayed, and engaged in thoughtful discussions with Muslims from across the globe. For the first time, he saw a world where people of different ethnicities and cultures lived together in harmony, bound by their shared faith. This was a stark contrast to the racial segregation and discrimination he had witnessed and experienced in America. This profound experience led to a significant shift in Malcolm's perspective on race. He moved away from the belief in racial separatism that he had promoted while in the Nation of Islam. Instead, he began to see the potential for brotherhood and unity among all races. He wrote, "In the past, I permitted myself to be used to make sweeping indictments of all white people. I no longer subscribe to sweeping indictments of any one race." Malcolm X returned to America with a renewed sense of purpose and dedication to the struggle for human rights. He founded the Organization of Afro-American Unity, a secular group dedicated to promoting human rights and racial equality. His message evolved to one that emphasized the common struggles of all oppressed peoples and called for global solidarity. Malcolm X's transformation to true Islam marked a significant shift in his worldview, one that would define his final years. His journey to Mecca and conversion to Sunni Islam not only changed his personal beliefs, but also influenced his approach to activism. It was a testament to his commitment to growth, understanding, and the pursuit of truth, even when it challenged his long-held beliefs. Malcolm X's life was cut short, but his influence continues to resonate. So what is his legacy? From the streets of Harlem to the heart of the civil rights movement, Malcolm X's journey was one of transformation. His life and teachings have left an indelible mark, not just on America, but the world. His philosophy of black self-reliance and empowerment, his unflinching critique of systemic racism, and his call for radical change continue to echo in the fight for equal rights. In the wake of his death, Malcolm X's influence became more pronounced. His speeches, writings, and philosophies were studied and propagated, his ideas inspiring countless movements and individuals. His autobiography, co-written with Alex Haley, became a seminal work, offering a candid and powerful portrayal of his life and beliefs. Malcolm X's influence on black empowerment movements has been immense. He challenged the status quo and advocated for a more assertive approach to racial justice. His call for black self-reliance and economic independence continues to reverberate in movements such as Black Lives Matter. His articulation of black pride and identity has had a profound effect on how black people view themselves and their place in society. But perhaps the most enduring aspect of Malcolm X's legacy is his message of transformation. Through his life, he demonstrated that change, no matter how radical, is possible. From a street hustler to a global human rights activist, Malcolm X's journey is a testament to the power of transformation. His life story continues to inspire those fighting against injustice and inequality. His influence has transcended borders, resonating with people around the globe. His speeches and writings continue to be studied and revered, his ideas still provoking thought and discussion. His legacy is a testament to the power of conviction, courage, and change. Malcolm X's journey from a street hustler to a global human rights activist is a testament to the power of transformation. His legacy continues to inspire and challenge us to this day.